I found out my girlfriend was cheating. She didn't know. I was watching everything. I didn't confront her. I didn't cry. I didn't even get angry. Because the moment I found out, I realized something important. She thought I was clueless. And that mistake gave me time. We had been together for almost 4 years. Long enough that people stopped asking when we started dating and started asking when we were getting married. Her name was Alina. Smart, calm, always put together. The kind of woman who made cheating seem impossible. At least, that's what everyone thought, including me. We lived together, shared rent, shared groceries, shared routines. Nothing flashy, just quiet stability, which is why the first sign felt so small that I almost ignored it. Almost. It started with her schedule. She used to be home by 6, every day, like clockwork. Then suddenly, it was 7, then 8. She said work was busy, new projects, more responsibility. I believed her. Because when you trust someone, you don't interrogate them, you make excuses for them. Then her phone changed. She started taking it everywhere. Bathroom, shower, even when she went to grab the mail. If I picked it up, she'd casually say, "Hey, I need that." Not nervous, not defensive, just controlled. The moment that changed everything didn't feel dramatic. It felt boring. And that's why it stuck with me. One night, she fell asleep on the couch. Her phone buzzed. Once, twice. I wasn't trying to snoop. I just wanted it to stop buzzing. The screen lit up. A name I didn't recognize. And one sentence. "I missed last night already." I didn't unlock her phone. I didn't need to. Because in that moment, my chest didn't tighten. It went cold. And when that happens, it means something inside you has already accepted the truth. I went to bed that night without saying a word. I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I just listened to her breathing and realized something terrifying. She thought she was getting away with it. Over the next week, I paid attention. Not like a jealous boyfriend, like an observer. She started dressing differently for work. Perfume, makeup, clothes she never wore for the office before. She smiled at her phone. A private smile, the kind you don't share. She laughed more, just not with me. I tested something. One evening, I told her I'd be home late. I wasn't. I parked down the street and waited. She left the apartment. 20 minutes later, different jacket, different shoes. Not dressed for groceries, not dressed for errands, dressed for someone. I followed her. Not closely, not obviously, just far enough to watch. She met him outside a bar. Tall, confident, the type who already knew he was attractive. They hugged. Not a friendly hug, a familiar one. I watched them go inside together. And that's when I made a decision. I wasn't going to expose her. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to explode. I was going to let her finish whatever game she thought she was winning, because there was one thing she didn't know. One thing she never asked about. One thing I never talked about. I worked in cybersecurity, not IT support, not password resets, corporate investigations, fraud, internal leaks, digital footprints. My job was literally to find patterns people thought were invisible. So I started collecting information, not illegally, not emotionally, professionally. Her calendar, her excuses, her timing, everything lined up too perfectly to be random. Then I looked deeper. And that's when I realized she wasn't just cheating. She was lying to more than one person. She wasn't seeing one guy. She was seeing 3 different nights, different excuses, different versions of herself. One thought she was single. One thought she was on a break. One thought she was stuck in a bad relationship. All of them thought they were special. And all of them had no idea. They were being studied. I didn't rush. I waited, because people reveal the most when they think no one is watching. 2 weeks later, she sat across from me at dinner and smiled, said, "Things feel different lately." In a good way. I smiled back and nodded, because she was right. Things were different, just not the way she thought. The opportunity came when she invited me to a small party, friends, co-workers. Nothing big. She introduced me to people, like everything was normal, like she wasn't lying to everyone in the room. Then I saw him, one of them, standing by the kitchen, watching her, the same way I used to, hopeful, confident, unaware. That's when I realized this was the moment. I waited until the room was full, until conversations overlapped, until attention was scattered. Then I walked over and shook his hand, introduced myself as her boyfriend. The look on his face told me everything. Shock, confusion, then doubt. He laughed, thinking it was a joke. She froze. Before she could speak, I added one sentence, "And you're not the only one." Silence spread, not loud, not explosive, just enough that people started listening. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult her. I simply explained. Dates, messages, names, calmly, accurately, like a report. She tried to interrupt me. I didn't let her, because for once, she didn't control the narrative. The other two men were there too. She didn't know it, but I did. When the truth settled, no one yelled. No one cheered. They just looked at her, like she was a stranger. She ran to the bathroom, crying, shaking, begging me to stop. I didn't follow her. I didn't need to. The next day, she packed her things. She asked if we could talk. I said no, not because I hated her, but because I didn't need closure. Weeks later, I heard she tried to fix things, with everyone. It didn't work. Trust doesn't break loudly. It collapses quietly. The last message she ever sent me said, "I didn't think you'd find out." I never replied. Because she was right. She didn't think I would. And that was her biggest mistake. Some people cheat because they think they're clever. Others cheat because they think they're invisible. Both are wrong. And sooner or later, every secret meets someone patient enough to uncover it.